Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is a very special Steel City Showdown. It was going to be like every international break we get together, but for one reason or another, it hasn't happened. This one nearly didn't happen, actually. Scheduling conflicts, we're both very busy. Derby weeks are always crazy. But we won't have that problem to look forward to for much longer. So it's going to be a really interesting chat, this. I'm looking forward to it. It's your chance to get questions into a fairly reasonable Sheffield Wednesday supporter. No doubt will be sticking up for his club, as you'd expect him to do, but I think it's interesting just to hear a balanced perspective, really, on how everything's gone. Everything's gone and going, and where things are at the moment ahead of this huge game at the weekend, which I cannot wait for. But without any further ado, it's my mate and yours, James from the Wednesday Till I Die pod. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. It's mad because every time I've spoke to you, and I'm always one that's buzzing for the Steel City Derby, and you're always like, "Oh, I hate him. Oh, I don't like it." And then now, I've fed up of hearing people talking about
flip reverse, mate. I think that's what Blazing Squad once said, weren't it? They flip reverse it.
Something like that, yeah, and I'm sure you're absolutely buzzing for Sunday. But look, could be a big old banana skin on Sunday. You never know. Yeah,
it could be. So, just give us a brief overview, mate, of where things, how Wednesdayites generally feel. I've heard the sort of spin. I think it's fair to say that some Wednesdayites are putting on it that it don't matter what happens on Sunday because we were already relegated before a ball were kicked with this owner that we had. And now, obviously, you're looking to the future and hopefully things can get resolved further down the line for you. But do you fall into that category? And do you think it's a bit of a safety blanket for some Wednesday fans to not have this be the team that sends you down?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in the minority, to be fair, because I hate it. Like, you know, Joe, there's a lot of people. I think you're right when you said that safety blanket. I think a lot of Wednesday fans are getting the excuses in early in terms of, we were relegated before we kicked the ball. And look, I get that. Like, we were genuinely, but the fact that it could be you that does that, and it looks likely, unless West Brom pull an absolute miracle out tomorrow and beat Coventry, or we happen to get a result on Sunday. Like, it looks like that's what's going to happen. And yeah, I hate it. I'm being totally honest when I say that. Like, any team other than you, it's a derby, it's a rivalry. It's like that for a reason, you know. Yeah. And how many games have we played? 30 odd games this season. There's many other games where, you know, we could have just put in a little bit more effort or won some more points to prevent this from happening. People were talking about this months ago, like, oh, it could happen. And everyone's saying, nah, it won't happen. Well, guess what? Like, it could be. It
did look very unlikely, didn't it? Loads of things had to line up, and yet here we are, a few days out from the game, and it could all depend on that. It does rest on a few things happening, like you've alluded to. I remember, it reminds me a little bit, obviously you're in a much worse position as a club because of what Chancery's done to you. When we got promoted to the Premier League and we were terrible, absolutely awful, and got relegated very early doors, you never wish ill on your own club. You don't ever want to lose. You don't ever want to, obviously, do anything. But there was a part of the fan base that were just like, get this season over and let's get to next season. And is there a part of you now that will be cheering on West Brom at the weekend to relegate you?
Because I don't want you to have that.
Absolutely, but it's such a weird mindset to be in, isn't it? Come on, West Brom, relegate us, get us gone before they can.
Look, it's not like in normal situations, you're 2-3 games from the end, and there's you've got to win 3 games, and it's like, that's great. When we played you, we'd won 1 game this season. We're playing you this for a second time. We've still won 1 game this season. We haven't won another game at all. We've hardly scored many goals since we last played you, to be honest. It's not looking great. But yeah, you're right. It is a weird mindset to have, but I don't want you to put that on your honours board that you've relegated Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, it's going on. It's going on. Don't you worry. If it happens, it's going on.
Space on it, to be fair. So there's you can probably fit it on there, to be honest. But I don't want to give you that opportunity to do that as a Sheffield Wednesday fan. A lot of people say, obsessed and all this, that, and the other. I've got friends, family. Jordan, my cousin. I don't want friends and family and colleagues to be ribbing me. I've had enough for it all season. You don't want it to be another one. And I mean, the relegation thing doesn't really bother me in terms of like the getting relegated. Like we knew it was going to happen this season anyway. There is an element of let's just get it over and done with, and let's just move on to next season. And hopefully next season might be a little bit better, but things have to happen off the pitch for that to happen, which haven't happened yet either. So yeah, it's a weird time, and a lot of people are just totally disenchanted with it all. I suppose some people, and I'm not even going to be watching on Sunday, which I find absolutely mental. But
it's weird. Are you going to the game?
I'll be there, yeah.
I thought
I'll be stood in that away end. They've paid me £43. I had to get another mortgage out to pay for the ticket, but
you'd have done it to us, pal.
Well, we did do it to you.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why I do know why I'm going to be going there.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because I've said it previously, and it's the wrong way to word it. I don't know why they go. I do know why you're going, but I don't know if I could go if it were me.
Shall I tell you why I'm going? I mean, one, obviously, I do the podcast to talk about it. I can't then talk about it and then not be there myself. That's one thing. But I think the other one, and I don't know if other Wednesday fans feel the same, but I just feel like there's an element of just take it on chin,
defiance.
Stand up there, stand up to be counted, stand in that away end. I don't know what the score is going to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know what it could be, but there's an element of just stand there. I hope that as a fan base, we cheer for the full 90 minutes, we're singing for the full 90 minutes, irrespective of what the scoreline is. And you're right, a bit of defiance, and just take it. Just be a man, take it on chin. Don't let's walk out. If it gets 2 or 3, don't just turn your back on them and walk out. It's not their fault. Them players on the pitch. I mean, we'll probably come on to that in a bit. I think that's something that's kind of worrying me a little bit, in that it's these players weren't even there at the start of the season. Half of them, and then we're going into a massive game on Sunday. But yeah, I'll be there. It'll be tough. I'm not going to lie. It's not a nice place to be, but like I say, you've just got to be there and just take it on the chin.
Do you give yourself a puncher's chance on Sunday, or do you think it's just a case of grin, bear it, grit your teeth, and then regroup and go again?
Well, there's been a bit F1 testing's been on recently. It's like turning up to Formula One in a Robin Reliant, I think. Like, if I'm being honest.
To be fair, we're both stacking it massively against Wednesday, and it'd just be the Sheffield United thing in our book to go.
It's the hair and tortoise situation, isn't it? Like the only thing that we've got, look, it could be a minor miracle, that I don't know, you get a red card, or we get a penalty, or a fluky penalty, or we have a shot that deflects off, and then you're knocking on the door and you just can't score. These things have happened. I mean, on our pod, I got shot down for it, really, just saying, talking about kind of FA Cups, and you see what other clubs have done. Macclesfield beating Crystal Palace and things like that. No, but then people were saying, I know. I wasn't talking about this game on Sunday. I'm more talking about the season and how we've not won many games at all. Yeah, and the people were saying, but that's different. That's one game, and this is like the season. Well, this Sunday is just one game. It is. You could just say it's like the FA Cup, and you think stranger things have happened in these games.
Must be a really difficult mindset for your players who, accept their fate like the fans do. It just feels like you are turning games over now and waiting for it to happen. Largely due to the points deduction, but also it's the quality isn't there in the squad. I think it's fair to say, but there must be the thought process of, if there's any game we need to turn up in, it's this one, just for the fans and things like that. But whether they've got that ability is another question altogether, isn't it?
Well, up until the Millwall game last weekend, we'd gone 10 games without even scoring a goal, and I was looking, and just in terms of how many shots we were having, I think we averaged something like 8.5 over the course of the season. You took those 10 games in isolation, I think we'd had something like 4.5 shots a game. You took the last 4, again, prior to Millwall, it dropped to something like 3 shots that were having. You're getting worse and worse and worse. And that was kind of my biggest frustration. We've all accepted the relegation. We've accepted how bad it is, but we just wanted to have something to cheer about, just some shots and some goals. We weren't really that bothered about losing the games, really. But then, Millwall was better. But I mean, this Sunday is going to be a totally different game. Like I said, the problem I've got, you look at some of the players that have come in on loan, some of the free signings we've made, but they've come in after all the problems that we had in the summer. They've not had the issues of not being paid or being around the club when that's been happening. Everyone's kind of left since then. I don't know what it was last weekend. I think a couple of weeks ago, 6 of the 11 starters weren't here at the start of the season. So they've not had that kind of, you look to the first game of the season against Leicester when, we lost the game, we took the lead, in that siege mentality that we had. They're not going to have that because they weren't there then. Yeah. So, and then now we're asking these players to go out on Sunday, and I'll be, I stand to be corrected. I'm sure these players will probably say otherwise, but there's an element of them just turning up to, 1, get experience, or 2, to pick up a wage. And then we're asking them to go into a Steel City derby and turn up and put a performance in, and and I don't know if they're going to have that right mindset to do that. I mean, if we had a I dare say, a Chris Wilder in terms of a manager that lives and breathes Sheffield Wednesday, Henrik Pedersen's not that, is he really? So that maybe he could have instilled something into him, but we haven't got that either. So there's a massive question mark over like the mentality in Sunday's game, which I don't know, it could help and it could hinder, because it could help in a way that they're maybe not going to get overawed by the occasion. Fans would hate it if a player said it's just another game, but maybe they might have to just treat it as another game to just try and get something out of it.
Yeah, I think Wilder had a really nice balance to it today, because obviously all fans are getting carried away, which you'd expect, because it's
carried away. Jesus Christ! I've seen 5, 6, 7 Boxing Day massacre. It's going to be carried away. Gee, that's an understatement of the year.
I just think we're getting excited about it, and not many of us, like you've rightly said, I normally dread these fixtures, but I think Chris Wilder is a huge reason this time as well. Another reason why I'm confident going into the game, because not just because I rate him as a manager, but I think he knows how to balance an occasion. So he's, in the press conference today, he's sort of poured cold water on a little bit of, he's not dampened the fixture down at all. He said, it's never just one game, and I'll never say that, because it means a lot to us, but we need those 3 points, and that is what we're going for. And he's sort of just tried to ease off a little bit. If he goes out and says, we should be doing them 5 or 6, and we want to smash them, we want to relegate them, that bleeds into the players, and they might get a little bit overconfident and expectant of what's going to happen. So he's keeping the players grounded and trying to keep the fans grounded as best he can. You mentioned Pedersen there. Look, I know things are going awful to you, but I haven't got you on just to sort of have a huge mudslinging thing one way.
Look, I've got broad shoulders.
I know you have, mate. I know you have, but I don't think it's. I'll come and take it. I don't think it's fair, pal. You know how we go. I think there's because of the rivalry, there's a lot of interest in what's going on in Blue Half as well, like you would be with us and whatever's happening. So, what's the general feeling around Pedersen at the minute? Because there's no doubt he has got a thankless job on his hands, but is he deemed to be good enough? Is he deemed to be part of the issue? Would you like a new manager if new ownership comes in League One?
Yeah, there's a few bits there. Look, I don't think the problem isn't him. Like, let's just get that out of the way first. Like, we aren't in this situation because of
yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
However, I feel like the question would be, could he have got more out of this squad? Could the players have got more out of the games that we've played so far? And we're on 11 points. If you take away the points deductions, we've had 1 win, 8 draws all season, and yes, we haven't had many hammerings this season. There's been quite a lot of 2-0, 3-0. I think the average scoreline is 2-0.
Well, the context, though, mate, is that you've had your squad cherry-picked away from you. Some have left for nothing, so you can't get money in to replace them. Embargoes mean that you were only really left, and the wage restrictions as well, meant you were only really left with the players that nobody else chose to pick up, weren't you?
Yeah, I get that, but then you look at some of the games, and over the course of the season, look, I'm not saying that we could have stayed up, but I'd like to think that at this point in the season we'd have got more than -7. I'd like to think we were on at least positive points. You know what I mean? And other teams have had deductions and not got relegated. Other teams have had deductions and got into the playoffs. I know the squad's been totally decimated, but there is an element of could he have got something more out of the squad? I think there's an element of kind of setting us up to not lose, which, I mean, it's difficult because the problem is, whichever way you look at the squad, you think, right, let's play a long ball, but we ain't got a target man. Right, let's play it with width, but we ain't got any pacey wingers. Like, whatever style of play we want to play with, there's missing pieces of the jigsaw. Yeah. I don't even mean for a good side, I just mean just to play that sort of system. And then we get to 60 minutes and then the players are knackered. And then you come into any sort of form, and then you get another injury. Murphy Cooper. You think, oh, we're going into this game at weekend, and you're thinking, well, keeper's been playing all right. There's chances that he might have a worldie. If we'd have had Ethan Horvath, who were in goal when you played us at Hillsborough, not a cat in hell's chance.
Never mind.
But Murphy Cooper's been doing okay since he's come in. But then, if he were, then he's injured. And you just think it's one thing after another. So I think it's difficult to judge him based on this season in terms of Henrik Pedersen. However, having said that, would I want a new manager when the new owners come in? Yeah, I think losing this many games, it's not great. How do you then turn that around, and how do you then, he's a very positive person, but I think there's sometimes you just got to walk away and go, you know what, we need something a little bit different. And I think this is probably the right opportunity. Having heard him and having spoke to him, I went to an evening with Henrik Pedersen at the club just before Christmas, and he talks a great game. He's done a lot of stuff at Red Bull. He would be more like a director of football type person, bringing the players in as opposed to an actual manager. I think it was great as a coach. I think he's just a bit out of his depth at the moment. But, like I say, it's very difficult to judge him on this season. But, yeah, it's a tough one.
What do you make to the Barry Bannan situation?
Barry who?
Nah,
I don't mean that.
Clip.
Thank
you for that. That's the ad done.
No, I mean, I did a watch along when we played Bristol City, and then I went in tears at the end because it was like, is he going? Is he not going? We got wind of it on the Friday or kind of the week before, and then on the Friday it was like, oh well, Millwall even made an approach for him, and you're thinking, oh, actually, like maybe he's actually staying, maybe he's had a change of heart. And then it got to the end, and he shook hands. He came off on 89 minutes. He shook hands with some of the players, and players were running over like he were retiring.
Yeah,
and at that point, you thought, it's happening. And then at the end of the game as well, he came on and went to the fans and stuff, and you were like, yeah, this is obviously nothing official had been confirmed or anything, but we knew that were going to be it. He's a Wednesday legend. The way the amount of games that he played, 477 games for Wednesday. You don't play that many games for a club and don't kind of get legend status, really. I think, it's probably for another day, but there's been times where I thought, did he stay too? Could we have moved on from Barry Bannan and been better without him and tried to build like a different team and stuff? Has he held us back in a way, which I think that's a wider question. But just in terms of a person himself, like we kind of could have needed him for Sunday. I think we were better with him in the side than without. But yeah, it was tough to see him against come to Hillsborough on Saturday. Thankfully, he didn't have a great game. Which
I heard it were pretty poor.
There were one. He had a shot inside the box, and I think he neshed it. I think he didn't want to score in a weird way. He didn't. He didn't put his foot through it, and then he nearly gifted us a goal as well, which I thought would have been quite apt. But he tried his best, and even then we couldn't win. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? So what's the current situation? I heard a little bit of something from Chris Wigfield through Radio Sheffield. What's the current situation with you guys as a club and the ownership situation and where you are with stuff?
Yeah, so James Board and his consortium.
Go on, Body lad. Go on.
So they're the preferred buyer. They're the preferred bidder.
No way he gets through. No way.
I can't say I can't say anything because I'll be deemed to be negative or all these sorts of stuff. So I'll just keep my thoughts to myself. But they're the preferred bidder. It's going through the EFL owners and directors test at the moment. There isn't really much that can be said other than I thought it was interesting when he said that. I mean, we knew that they were funding the losses of the club at the moment, but apparently that's on a 2-week rolling basis, which I think that's a bit close to the knuckle.
Yeah,
I think that's probably why we've sold the likes of Bailey Cadamartri and Barry Bannan's gone and things like that to kind of free up wages and free up money. We've also had Jan Valery as well, who's gone to Young Boys in Switzerland. I'm sure there's some jokes about that as well.
No, not on this channel.
But yeah, that's probably why, because it is so close. Like it could just suddenly be back to square one, and the administrators having to do everything. So yeah, it's really frustrating. Really, I think if I'm being brutally honest with myself, I think I let myself get a bit carried away when we went into administration. I think the administrators also probably got a little bit carried away as well with some of the messaging that was coming out of the football club. If you take a step back and have a look at it,
yeah,
probably maybe it was a bit wrong. It felt really right at the time, but right now, I think there's a lot of Wednesday fans that have just got a bit annoyed and frustrated that nothing's really happened, even though we were told that that's what it was going to be like. But when you're talking about, over 100 people have inquired, and then you've got over, double figures in terms of actual people that put money forward, and
it's hard not to let yourself run away with it.
You start getting carried away, and you think it's going to happen in no time at all. And then now we're at this point in February where it might not even be this preferred bidding. And my worry is we're all talking about getting relegated and then League One, and it might be better. It might not even be sorted by then. Derby, it took them over nearly a year to get sorted. So that'd take us up into October.
Yeah.
We haven't even got a League One side at the moment. Probably League Two. We're talking about budgets and stuff, and we've got these League Two sides with bigger budgets, wage budgets than us at the moment.
What's the situation with the points deduction if you don't get a takeover completed? I get cross wires with this. Is it something like if you accepted a bid below the 20 million threshold, then you'd have to accept a 15-pointer? Is it something like that?
Yeah, that's right. So I think it's £30 million, which is, so they've got it's the 25 pence in a pound ruling. There's some creditors that get all the money. There's some that get just 25% of what they're owed. But if we can't satisfy those rules, then we'll get a 15-point deduction, which I believe will be next season, which will absolutely cripple us, to be honest. But yeah, I think that's to prevent the Leeds situation where you just go into administration, someone just takes over for nothing, clear the decks, but in actual fact it's the same people that own the football club. So that's why that rule's there. But it could come to bite us in the arse, because our dear old previous owner wants quite a bit of his money back, which I think is mad. It's totally wrong in a way. Like, he's got us in this situation, and yet he's owed, I think he might stand to get about £15 million if the deal goes through, which is wild.
How much is he put into the club again?
Quite a lot of money, but but
it's wild that he wants some back in it. Wild.
Well, yeah, I know, but if you bought a car and then if you bought a Lamborghini and smashed it into the wall, and then you're saying, "Well, I want me £100,000 back." Well, now you've smashed it into.
Well, he don't want £100,000 though, does he? He wants paying for parts.
He'll get notes. He's getting.
He wants paying by scrapper, and that's pretty much a similar situation to what we're in here.
Yeah, but all right then. In this situation, when you talk about money that's put in, when you sell your car, you don't get all your fuel receipts out and go, "Wait, I've put 30 quid in this week. I put 40 quid in that week."
No, but you get the value of what the car's worth now.
Yeah, but what you're saying is how much money has he put in? That's not how.
No, but you're saying it's a disgrace that he wants to take some money out.
Yeah, of course.
When he's the one that's put, I get the frustration as a Wednesday fan, but as a businessman, of course, he's going to try. He's not a Wednesday fan, is he? Clearly, he's not a Wednesday fan. But he's
quite a lot of owners aren't fans of the actual.
That's exactly right, exactly fair. But in terms of like, there's no sentiment for him to say, "Oh well, I'll write it off then and I'll leave it," because he will feel, just following the bits of him that we see and the loads of him that you'll have seen, he will feel that he's been hounded out by the Wednesday fans. So
yeah, he has, and rightly so.
Yeah,
So.
Absolutely.
But all the words that he says, like, I won't hurt this football club and all things like that. Well, they mean absolutely nothing. I mean, they meant nothing when he said them, so they mean absolutely nothing now either.
So obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty going. We'll go into comments in a minute, mate. But there's a lot of uncertainty going into summer. Can you get any sort of optimism together for either the fan base as a whole, or will people be split on like, well, it's going to be a fresh start, a fresh coat of paint in League One? Yes, we're starting lower down than we should be, but the thought process that you could rely on your name as a historic big football club to attract players, or is it just going to be more of the same, where your wage structure is going to be so limited and the playing staff are just not up to scratch that you fear a really poor season next year as well?
Yeah, well, I thought you nearly used the word massive then, and I thought Rob Staten might have been on your back then, because apparently we can't use that word anymore.
Oh, a little bit of a bite there, a little bit of a bite for Rob Staten there. But sometimes Sheffield Wednesday, what did he say? They need to realise that they're not a big club. They're not a big club anymore.
You've got to forget about all the history and things. I thought, well, it's not our fault. You've got a big stadium and a big fan base and all them things. Like, you can't just forget about it. You can't just walk in and go, oh, we haven't got any fans anymore and stuff like that. I don't think the club actually sets that status thing. When you hear other people, I mean, you've just said it there, like historic and things.
You are a big club.
Like, yeah, United are a big club as well. Like, you can't just suddenly turn.
Second clip. It's true, isn't it? Two big clubs in Sheffield. That's it.
Yeah, we can't just suddenly turn into a Morecambe, like, and be a
if only.
Yeah, and all the other small clubs that are out there. Like, but anyway, I think it all depends. It all hinges on whether the ownership stuff gets sorted. Because I mean, all right, yeah, could you? At the moment, we can only pay £7,000 a week. We have to speak to the EFL seemingly every single day to get a deal through and things like that, which I know has riled up quite a lot of United fans and Derby fans. Apparently, like they're getting a bit annoyed that we're signing players as well at the moment.
I don't get why you are signing players. Or
11. We've made 11 signings this season, whilst we're under all the embargoes and all the.
So I mean, how? Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's massively improved you and it's giving you an unfair advantage.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the way some United fans have been going off is if you've signed prime Ronaldo in summer.
What's the point in having a paper rule if you're just not going to enforce it at all? You're not supposed to be signing players. I understand it's supposed to be not for a fee, but aren't you also under any incoming transfer embargo for the short term as well? Supposed to be.
Well, we're not. Well, yeah, we're under a transfer fee ban, so we can't pay anything.
Yeah,
we are under an embargo, but I think the argument is that we haven't got a squad. Like, we haven't got a squad of players. So, and then I think it's the element of, we've got to get rid of players to for monetary reasons and things like that. And then all the loan players that have come in, it's my understanding that we're not paying anything for them. Like, not even a £45,000 contribution to wages or anything like that. Just nothing. Like,
so Jerry Yates has come in for nothing.
My understanding is
what's Luton's incentive to send him to Sheffield Wednesday then?
Getting it shop window, maybe. I don't know. I've no idea. I mean, I don't know that for certain. I know that was the case for Harry Amass when Harry Amass came from
definitely
from Man United. And my understanding is nothing else has changed. I don't know why they would change that ruling. And Henrik had said he's got a small pool of people to shop. The Wendies is shopping in. Not many. He's literally in Bernardo's and Oxford. Yeah,
and I can understand like the unwanted players from bigger clubs, or development players from bigger clubs that you've signed, and even Seny Dieng, who's come in now as your goalkeeper. Borough have been trying to offload him for a couple of seasons, really, because he's their backup goalkeeper. Had a decent reputation at Championship level prior to going to Borough as well. I liked him at QPR. So he's going to come in and have a worldie, no doubt, on Sunday. But I don't get the players coming up from League One into the Wednesday team. You can understand if it were a move to play in the Championship, better themselves and all this sort of thing. But if you're paying no money towards, what's the incentive for the club?
Well, he's not playing for Luton, and by all accounts, checking the comments when he signed, like Luton fans were delighted that they got rid of him because they hated him. So it clearly worked for him. I don't know. I don't know why we've signed him. It's not exactly lit it up either, so I can probably see why they didn't really want him. To be honest, he's not had many chances. He had one-on-one that he put over the bar. That's about it. But yeah, it's we've just been able to. We're not even shopping in middle aisle at Aldi. We're shopping in that clearance bit. The all out of date. Date foods gets that's where we are.
It whoops stuff.
The all eggs that have been dropped and smashed and they're just on sale for 5 pence or whatever.
Team of broken toys. Oh, bless you. What's your honest thoughts on a score prediction for Sunday? You do know. You just can't. You can't give me. You can't give me the answer I want. Even though you think it.
My genuine concern is that we're going to get absolutely hammered on Sunday. However, there's an element in me thinking that I've been in this situation before on the other side. Like when we went to Wembley and played Hull, I'm already looking at away days to Man United, to Liverpool. You know what I mean? I'm already thinking we're in the Premier League at that point.
So you're a Wednesday fan, that's what happens.
No, but then it never. Well, obviously you've got a good track record at Wembley as well, but
we don't think on. Don't worry about that. There were no plans being made against Sunderland.
But the point I'm making is, it seems very like already United fans are talking about, it's 5, it's going to be 6. You're already talking about a massive win, relegating us, and all that sort of stuff, as if it's already happened. I mean, it could happen, and my worry is that it would, but then. I honestly have no idea, mate. I literally have no idea. I mean, the dream, and it sounds wild, is that we celebrated that 0-0 with Jos Lukai were there.
Yeah, you did.
You took piss out of us for that, but
yeah,
my God,
rightly so.
It'll be like if we get a 0-0 on Sunday, it would be like winning FA Cup. To be fair, that's how unexpected it's going to be. Yeah, all right. I genuinely, if you give me 10 quid and you said my life depends on it, I've got to put it on a score. I'd probably just say it's going to be 4-0 to United. Like I can't see
so many clips.
I'm just being honest. Jimmy, I
love it, mate. I love it.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be I don't want to be that deluded Sheffield Wednesday fan. I'll just come on here and say it how it is. That's how I feel. Like that's my worries. We're going to get absolutely battered. But
the thing we know, mate, is it's cyclical, don't we? So we at the moment are enjoying our time in the sun and being the better of the two. It will come around again where you are strong. Whether you surpass us in the near future is probably unlikely, but Sheffield Wednesday will come again, as a lot of us know will happen or should see coming. And you know, because they'll only fall so far before somebody says, well, you can't not take a chance on a club that size. And again, we go back to the same thing at that level. It's a bit like, are you going to be, like you said, Leeds, who swept the decks clean and went and really pushed on? You might be a Bradford who spend a few years much lower down in a League Two, maybe. But you know, there's only so long you can keep big clubs down. I think you see Bolton now making a real push to come back up to the Championship, and Charlton have done it.
Just back to the score prediction bit. I think realistically, I can see it being 2-0, which will be like a disappointment for both sets of fans. You'll be disappointed because it's not the hammering that you expected. And we'll be disappointed because we've got beat in another Steel City derby. And then we'll both walk away not really fully enjoying it as much as what perhaps
I won't mind it. A 2-0 is absolutely fine by me. Listen, we'll be having an after party if we win. You're more than welcome to join us if you fancy a beer afterwards.
I'm having my haircut. I think on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I can see it. He's doing Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see what people are saying. So Peake says going on Sunday, courtesy of Richard Carrington, top man. It will be my first ever derby game, and I'm so grateful. Wendy's could get the unwanted record of being the fastest team ever relegated, Put that in your trophies.
I think even if we don't get relegated on Sunday, I think it's going to happen week after anyway.
Sorry, James, but I'm sure you would be the same if the boot was on the other foot. In every other sense, I wish goodwill to Sheffield Wednesday fans. We all have friends, family, work colleagues and neighbours who support the opposite side. But on Sunday, I'll be singing loud and proud and giving it large if and when we win, making relegation a dead cert. Up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. Well said, Steph. Thank you, my mate. Rossi says, remember standing on Leppings Lane in 1979 with my dad and family. We were so disappointed. It's been with me since then. So hopefully Sunday I can cleanse it for good from my memory. Come on, blades.
Only difference, though, between that and obviously I'm not saying it from memory because, I weren't there. But the only difference being these are just a gulf in both sets of teams at the moment, whereas back then it would have been more a competitive game. That's all I'm going to say on the.
Does that say it in the small print on the honours board, or is that just?
No, it's just facts, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And that is a worry that right now everyone knows the situation. Are people gonna? I don't know I don't know what we were playing like back in 1979 when they both came up against each other. But I know that you weren't bottom of the league with points deductions and things like that. But what I'm saying is people will forget that. It'll be
a place in time, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that is what I don't want. You can kind of accept it now to a certain point. It's in 10, 15, 20
because you know the context, don't you? And you're living through it. Yeah. Rich says, evening Jimmy and the Ramblers. I've never been more excited for a derby. This is payback for all the years of Wendies lording it over us. We're about to show how sharp we blades are. Up the blades, up all the Rambles, like and subscribe. Pete says, hi Jimmy, we're all blades and we know what's needed and how it's needed on Sunday. The fans need this and Wilder is one of them. Up the blades, up the Ramble. DTO, see you soon. DTO, down the Owls. Okay, down the Owls. Fair dues. Dave Morwood, remember, be kind to James. He's one of the good ones. Well, according to Jord. Nice to have you back. I mean, nice you are back. Up the blades. Like and subscribe. Thank you, mate. Rossi says, Jimmy, I don't want us to take the foot off on Sunday. Drive them down to the ground 7-0, please. Okay, Rossi. Okay. 7-0's a bit of an ask.
Hey, I was looking at the odds, actually. I think, is it 5-0? It's shorter odds for 5-0 United than they are 1-0 Wednesday or something, yeah.
I saw it. Bryce says, please remember the Blades Ramble is a family channel. Thank you, Bri. Very much appreciated keeping everybody in order. Chris says, can we please stop this? We want 5-0, 6-0, 7-0. Can we just win and get 3 points? That'll do for me, because if they fluke a goal and win it, it'll be as bad as back in 1979. Yeah,
there is. Jimmy, if even if it's a 0-0, how bad would that be? Oh, 0-0 could still relegate us, by the way. So you might still get that one. But if we
relegate you, but it's 0-0, I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed. We need to win. We need to win the game on Sunday. Not just to rubber stamp your relegation, which is obviously something that a lot of people are really excited for. We've still got a season to keep on track, and as unlikely as it seemed at one stage, we could be anything between 3 and 6 points from playoffs come final whistle on Sunday. So we need to keep going and get our points on board. So Chris is right in what he says in terms of the game. The result is the most important thing, but it's a step further into it. It's not just another game. It's the Steel City derby, and fans are gonna get. I know what Chris is saying. Get calm down about it. We'll just get the result. You can't calm down about it, I don't think. Not when this is in front of you. And I think, if Shu were on the other foot, you'd be in exactly the same boat, to be fair. So, Leeds fan here. Big fan of the channel. Thank you, Matt. Looking forward to seeing you sending that lot down. Bragging rights forever if it happens.
Do you know what? I love it. Everyone hates Wednesday, but you've got Barnsley fans, ooh, Rotherham fans, ooh, yeah, just hold hands with your Rotherham fans, and even Leeds fans now as well. But
got respect. Big clubs, isn't it? Big clubs, Leeds and Sheffield United, and just got respect for each other. That's what it is, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around. To be fair, getting up on bigger club.
Okay. Bryce says, I agree, Chris. I don't like this arrogance from some of our supporters. Usually, it's that lot that have delusions of grandeur. Jimmy with the smirk. I don't know which bit, but it's probably right. Zonny says, nothing finer than seeing Wednesday fans suffer. There's no need for that, Zonny. Come on, pal. Is James invited to the hotel after the game, Jimmy? Of course, you're invited.
I told you, I've got things to do.
I'll even buy you a pint, mate. If we beat you, I'll buy you a pint, and if you beat us, you'll buy me one. How's that for a deal?
if we meet you, I will definitely be in that hotel.
We won't. Ian says, genuine credit to James for his un-Wednesday-like honesty and credit for going, although he's obviously in need of a good psychiatrist. Well said, Ian. Well said.
I took my lad to Hillsborough last week, and I think NSBCC.
Why would you do that?
Phone, yeah.
Why would you do that?
Because I think genuinely as well, like he don't know what.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
What it's like, and I think I wish I were his age as well, not knowing all this stuff that's going off. To him, it's just a game of football. I mean, he did say as well. He went to the Wrexham game, and Josh Windass and Barry Bannan were his two favourite players. And obviously, I told him Josh Windass will be playing for Wrexham, and they said, "Daddy, did they leave so they can win some football matches?" And I'm like, "Well, even at 5 years old, he knows." So yeah.
It's good that you can take the kids because it's there's loads of free seats as well, isn't there, at the minute? So it's easy to
genuinely, actually, he actually goes on the guy who sits next to me is not going, so I've got his season tickets. So it was actually a free seat, yeah.
And I bet you can choose where you sit now and get a better view, can't you?
Yeah,
we've
got
moved down a little bit.
We have lots of seats in our stadium. Yeah, but you have quite a lot of seats as well. Actually, I saw the messages that were from that fan thing yesterday. Hello. Oh, we don't sell out anyway, so there's plenty of seats to choose from. So anyway,
yeah. Everyone's saying it's going to be 6-0, but I'll take a 1 now. Says Gav.
Do you know what I love? Right, everyone giving it big one, and then now they're like crawling back in this as it gets closer and closer to time. Everyone's like, "Oh no, I best not say that because it might not happen."
We've had 3 comments that have said they'd take a 1-0, which I would as well, by the way. I'd be disappointed.
Everyone's putting in that, like, I'm just going to say it now, so when it happens, I kind of...
Yeah, but you said 4-0.
Yeah.
So why is it? So
what I'm saying is now everyone's crawling back in the shell and like going,
trying to be respectful to you because you've been open and honest, and they're trying to be respectful and sort of say, "Well,
no, I think they're doing it for themselves. I think they just
self-preservation."
Scared. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Which look, when it's on internet, it's there for everyone to see.
Oh, we know it, mate. We know it. Finally, they admit we are their cup final. I think that's been the case for a while or two. Double, I think, could be on this Sunday. We'll see. Lou says, if you get any stick on here, just refer them to me. Then they'll listen. We'll go protest outside EFL headquarters. Is Bod's takeover still in jeopardy, James? Yeah, we've touched on that. It's not one of our admin to say it's not in. No, it's not. All right. Let's have a look. These are having a little chat between themselves. Craig says, "Can't see this."
Joel's a Wednesday fan. So.
Oh, is it? All right. Sorry. So let's see what he's saying. Then. No, it's not. One of our admins says it's not in jeopardy. Right.
Yeah, that was yesterday when Chris Wigfield come out and said no, it's not. I mean, to be fair, I think he's going to say that anyway, even if it was. So I'll take that with you.
He actually said he didn't know how they'd answered the questions, didn't he? Which you can't answer.
I mean, one thing I would say on all of this is you have to take it all with a pinch of salt. Like people are saying, "Oh, look, the administrators have said this," but I've been around for too long, not in football, but just in general. That there's ways of bending the truth in all directions. So you've just got to take it all with a pinch of salt.
Doing it.
Well, no, not really, but you've got to just don't just put 100% faith into absolutely everyone and what everyone's saying. You use everything that you've heard and make up your own mind.
Agreed.
Is what I would say. Agreed.
Completely. And things change as well. It could change from when Chris Wigfield gave that interview yesterday. It could all have changed today. So it doesn't. Yeah. It don't mean anything now because it's today's chip paper or whatever they say it is. Can't see this game as won before it's played, says Craig. It comes back to bite us in the ass when we do that. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, down the Pigs. Yeah, that's fair. I think the one thing a lot of us are saying is just be cautious. Don't look past the game. I don't think any of us are. Just because we're really looking forward to the game and want 3, 4, 5 doesn't mean that we're looking past them at all. I've got a feeling for 4 or 5 on Sunday. Big party after, says Jamie. There you go. James says, always enjoy hearing from James, especially the sly, passive-aggressive digs. Hopefully more to come in the future when the Pigs have a more competitive squad. At least the new owner will buy you in League One.
Look, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's all about the banter. I like to give it. I can take it as well. So look, it's all part of the fun.
It's been very, very heavily in our favour this season. For the last couple of seasons, to be fair.
Do you know what? I loved it. The start of the season when you were like, right, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do this show. Are you on board?
Do it monthly. Yeah. Well, we're to do it monthly or something?
Like, it was like going to be every week. I think you wanted to do it, and you're like, and you said, I know it's going to be tough for you, and I know, and then we did like first couple, and when we were above you, and then you were like totally backfired.
I was just busy. You know how it is. You know how things go. When we had Ruben Sayers in charge, Jesus Christ.
Not gonna lie, like I did take great pleasure from that because you thought it was going to be an absolute tapping.
I did getting you on this season. We finished with 92 points year before, and we knew that you were getting a chuffing point deduction, and all your players were going. Thought this will be great. This will be great, and he'll be a good sport as well. I thought we'll have it. It'll be a good thing for the season. I think this is the third one we've done, isn't it? Maybe fourth. So, yeah.
If you want to talk about League One next season, you can get me on. I can give you a full rundown on.
Let's do that. Let's do a League One prediction show or something. It'd be right. James is a top lad. Says Bry. I'm pooing it for Sunday. Says Chris. That's just everybody's got that side to them in a derby. I think losing Bannan is psychologically more damaging than any other player leaving, in my opinion. Go on, mate.
Go on then. Half time 0-0. A lot of Wednesday games have been 0-0 at half time. Are you feeling? Let's just say you're on top. You've had a few chances. Keepers pulled off a few worldy saves. Are you feeling at half time 0-0? Are you still confident, or are you a bit more nervous now?
I'll be worried at 70 minutes if it's still all square. I think we've been getting better as games have gone on as well. We played Oxford, and they went 1-0 up. We were very slow to start in the first 20 minutes. We were poor actually, and then it was just a very professional job to come back in. We were the better side. We had better quality all over the pitch, and we just did a job on them. And they couldn't live with us, and we got better as the game went on. We've got players that are hitting form like Andre Brooks at the minute. I don't know who's playing left back for you at the moment, but because it was Lowe, weren't it? And then it's a mass, and then Lowe moved inside, and Lowe's injured now. Who's left back for you now at the minute?
It's Adaramola, who's not been great, to be honest. So
our right hand side is our strongest thing at the moment. So I'm just really looking forward to it, mate. As I said, I won't be nervous at half time if it's 0-0 because I still think we'll have enough. I'll just be disappointed more than anything else. My dad used to say that to me when I was a kid. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
That's the worst thing for you.
It is, yeah.
Isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, it is.
And do you know what? I mean, Matt said this on our show as well. He said, what's going to hurt more is at the end, let's say you have beaten us. The worst thing is Wilder's probably come out and say, I feel sorry for Henrik. And that's what's probably going to hurt quite a lot for him to say.
We were saying that at one point this season.
He didn't like Roll, did he? Do you know what I mean? There were a bit of needle between them two. I don't think
he makes it known that he likes Henrik, doesn't he?
Yeah,
just to shove it to Roll that little extra bit.
Probably,
that's Wilder. That's Wilder. We love it.
I don't think he cares though. He's doing great guns at Rangers.
Yeah, he is.
Everyone was saying how he's a crap manager and stuff, but he's got to tune out a Gassama as well.
I don't think he's crap. I don't think he's crap. He's a good manager. I wouldn't have said that to you at the time, but I will now. I love the build up to the game. Hate the actual game, says Joel. Yeah, me too. I don't like the games, Joel says. Bright. It's brilliant if you win, not so much if you don't. Jack says, isn't Board in a legal battle with an old business partner at the minute? I think there was something to that, wasn't there, pal?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, but it's a civil dispute. Basically, a business partner's sued him. But obviously, it's in America, so you can. I think didn't someone sue McDonald's for coffee being too hot or something, and things like that. So that just shows you what happens over there. And it's mad as well. I think basically he's put money into Cordoba, the Spanish side, on the pretense that there was no debt, but apparently they're in $25 million pounds worth of debt or something. So I think
he's legit, that boy. He's legit.
Maybe you just do your due diligence a little bit more rather than just going, is there any debt, mate? Now they're in. All right, yeah, nice one, 8 million.
Nice one. Take your word for it, pal. Take your word for it.
maybe have a look at some papers first, if you, do you know what I mean? Just see if it actually is legit or not before. That's like getting that email, isn't it, that you normally get in your spam and going, oh, that's good. I'll send them some money. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Sheffield Plovdiv next season. Yeah, love that, James. Don't know if you get that sort of connection. James,
yeah, we'll be signing those players next season.
Yeah, the Bulgarian Botdev Plovdiv. Get familiar with their team, and that's your scouting done, I think, for summer. Yeah. Not a cat and else chance. JB gets past the fitting proper test, says Luke. It's just wasting time that might bleed into next season. I agree with this.
Just completely. On that as well, by the way. Obviously, he's got this AI model thing. The way I see it happening, again, I could be miles off with this one, but Obviously, he's done Firmlin, there's Cordoba. I think what he's probably trying to do is get the club. We get back into the Championship. Let's say, I dare say, might be challenging for promotion. We may even get to the promised land at some point. I think because people are saying, "Oh, he's not got any money." Neither has the other two, Faisal bin Jamil, and I think the Felix Roma as well is the other one that's part of it. When you look at it, they've not got much money between them, but obviously money will be coming from elsewhere. The way I see it is what they're probably doing is, yes, they're investing in Sheffield Wednesday, but they're probably investing in this AI model. And if it was to work, they'll probably just sell the football club and then go and sell this AI model to, well, there's lots of football clubs over the world.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
And then the people that are putting the money into the AI model, that's how they will get their return when they move it on. That's my theory. I could be miles off with that, but
makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Putting two and two together, we aren't really knowing full things, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Nige says, "Sorry, James, but Rob's not wrong, is he?"
What, in terms of the massive statement? I think this
for those that aren't aware, Rob Staten has come out on Radio Sheffield and said, "I don't know why Sheffield Wednesday are hanging on to this reputation of being a big club. They haven't been in the top flight for 26 years, and they may just have to accept where they are currently as a side and forget the history and things like that. They have not been a big club
been
for
out
some
of the Premier
time.
League since 99, 2000. So yeah, it's 26 years since we've been there. So he's not wrong with what he said in terms of the facts. Like, the facts are pretty cut and dry. And I think there is an element of some Wednesday fans, your older generation, and obviously as years go by, that just gets older and older, that do still see us as a Premier League football club. And I think, that those have to kind of have a bit of a reality check. And we're not there. We've been down to League One more times than we have back to the Premier League in the last 25, 26 years. So yeah, there is that element. But however, when we do go down next season, like what you said, last time we were down there, people came to Sheffield Wednesday because we're a bigger club, and you are going to be playing in front of 20,000. Like, you're not going to get that. If Donny Rovers or if it's Donny Rovers or Sheffield Wednesday, and you're going to get the same money or maybe even a bit more at Wednesday, you're going to come, aren't you? Like, even if it is the same, you are just going to play in front of bigger crowds. That's what footballers want to do. So, but the thing I didn't like about it was we don't choose to get that status. You just listen to other neutral football fans, and they still talk about us in that sense. Certainly, people that are the same age as us or a little bit older, they still see Sheffield Wednesday as a big club. If Hillsborough got knocked down and we were playing at like AFC Wimbledon's ground, I think that has a lot to do with it. Like,
it does.
The big stadium, the average attendances and all that stuff. Again, you can't just forget everything that's gone in the past, like that. You just can't do that. I kind of get where it's coming from. It's a mentality thing.
Yes.
I
think he's more getting about the entitlement to be in the Championship or at the top end of the Championship. And I get that, but it doesn't mean you're not a big club.
Yeah, I mean,
what you've done in your history.
You can't just accept where you are. Like, I think, we don't. We've had a terrible ownership previously, so I think we've been right to get rid of him. But we've not been like well run for since coming out of the Premier League, and I don't know what it was like in the Premier League either. So you haven't, when you call well run and selling players and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
it's a difficult one. I think when you see. He's got his kite on, about like sacking managers like willy-nilly and all this sort of stuff that he's seen. And he said the week before
about the Rotherham fans, weren't he?
Yeah, and he said the week before about like his football fun anymore and that stuff. So he's got a bit of a, I think he's just going through a bit of a rough time at the moment, and everyone's kind of taking shots. Really, to be honest.
Yeah, fair. I think it's harsh to say. Well, it's not. I don't think it's accurate to say you're not a big club. I do get the point behind his sentiment.
The other thing, though, as well, I think you have to take into context. I mean, if you listen to the full show, rather than listen to that little clip that they've put out, like anything, you've been saying, "Oh, clip that." It sounds really bad, but if you listen to the whole thing, and you put it into context,
well,
it sounds totally different, doesn't it? So I think there's that element as well. I've not.
Agree.
I'll admit I've not listened to the full show, so I've not had the whole.
Not listening to that man after he said that. No chance. Leeds in League One attracted mid-table champ players because of the name. Sometimes the name and history can attract players even when lower down. That's exactly right, and it sort of leans into the point we were just making. James said it himself, where player if there's an offer between Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday, paying same money, majority of players are going to choose Sheffield Wednesday because they're historically a bigger club. It's just how far down do you go and how much damage does that do over time, I suppose, because at one time Sheffield Wednesday would have been a more attractive move than Portsmouth, and now Portsmouth are going to be able, with championship status, are going to be able to outpay probably and attract players over Sheffield Wednesday. So it's what damage is it doing over time, I think is probably.
Well, we had Giles on the podcast when I first started, and we'd said to him, like why would someone go to a team in the Championship when they can come to Wednesday in League One? And he just said, yeah, it's about like that. It's just a status. You then are called a Championship footballer, and when you're looking for a move next, you've played in the Championship. It doesn't matter who you're playing for. It's more about who you're playing against, like the opponents that you're coming up against. So, because you do have your blue tinted glasses on, and you go, why have they gone there rather than coming here?
Yeah.
Like when you're in for a certain player. But it is that, and they're just looking after themselves at the end of the day. I think in the same league, you would come to us rather than someone else. I don't think we're going to, I know that the guy said about attracting players from the Championship, but only if you pay well. I think that's the other thing. You look, was it Mullin? They went to Wrexham,
Paul Mullin,
dropping down a few leagues to play there, probably because he got paid more. So I think it comes down to that as well.
Okay. Fair dues, mate. Fair dues. Romeo says, not being able, we got every chance of beating them to bed. Putting them to bed, I assume it is. Come on, United. Thanks, Romeo.
I was just going to say that's predictive texting, that one.
I think it might be. Interesting fact, in all competitions, United have only conceded 4 or more goals 3 times this season compared to Wednesday's twice. Thank you, J Blogs. And yet Sheffield United still aren't being relegated, says Nick. Good old Nick. Welcome back, pal. Hope you're good. Van Blade says, fair play to James for doing these streams. Always enjoy them. It comes across well and takes the banter well from the stream. Interesting to hear the view of someone that side. Yeah, I always think so too, Craig. I think it's really interesting because we both are interested in what each other's clubs are doing. We might not like to admit that, but you always keep an eye on the opposition, and you sort of. Yes, we are enjoying what's happening to them now. Certainly on the pitch. We don't like what's happened off the pitch with the payments. That's hopefully all sorted out with staffing and stuff like that now. But if we were struggling on the pitch, they would be absolutely loving it too. That's the way it is. That's what a rivalry is built on. So fair play to you for coming on, mate. I knew you'd take it well, as you always do. Be careful. Jimmy says, Ian, the last time I saw you with a permanent grin like this was after Swindon got a 2-2 draw at Ellen Road last season. Remember how that turned out? When did Swindon get a 2-2 draw at Ellen Road?
No idea.
No, I will not deny it, Ian. I was probably grinning when Leeds were stumbling, but I know the moral of the story. As Leeds fans, we look down on you, though, through our Premier League tinted sunglasses. Jokes aside, I want every Yorkshire team to have the worst time than I do. It's just natural. Okay, mate. Well, thank you for being honest. Chariot says, United won most points in the division since our visit to the Sty. Let's get them gone. More history for their records. Up the blades, up the ramble. Bald and Brilliant Lee says, the first derby I think I've ever looked forward to. Me too. Confident of victory, hopeful of a good win, looking forward to the after party. Bring it on. As I say, that is an open invite. If you fancy it, pal, you are more than welcome.
Is there not an element of it being a hollow victory, though?
Not one bit at all. There'll be hollow glasses at the bar afterwards, but other than that, there's nothing hollow about this victory. Why would there be?
But if we were more competitive, and it were close,
we can't do what about that, can we?
Well, I know, but this, I know you can only beat what's in front of you, but is there not the fact that it is almost a foregone conclusion? Does that?
It would be no. I think it would be greater after the final whistle if we'd beat a better team. I think leading up to the game, there would be nowhere near this amount of enjoyment and excitement.
Because I just go back to when we were in League One, both times, to be fair, I didn't really enjoy it. Like, just in terms of we were going into every game, and unless we were 1-0 up after 15, 20 minutes, I was like, it was more relief more than anything else. And I don't know if Sunday's going to be like that for some, yes, it'll be, I mean, I suppose because it's a Steel City derby, it's a bit different. But when you score, it will be like, oh, thank God. No, if it does happen in 60, 70 minutes, it will be like relief first and then celebrate after.
But I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take the relief. I think, like you said, like I've said, if you still had Bannan and Wendies and some of these better players, then I wouldn't be as confident, and I probably wouldn't be looking forward to it as much. But then you feel like you've conquered you properly. If we've beaten you, I understand that sentiment, but I'm still taking.
So you all go on about the 4-2 at Hillsborough. Like, will Sunday be better than the 4-2? Because at that point you always could bang on about
I love the 4-2.
You were the underdogs in that game, and on paper we were better than you. That
was the turning point in the city, I think, between the two clubs. I think
so where will
would you agree? Would you agree?
Yeah, well, you just have to look at the results and where two clubs are in the league positions and stuff.
So, to answer your question though, where would it? I think right up there. What
would the score have to be on Sunday for it to be better than that 4-2?
5, I would say, because that is so significant, particularly how the game went as well, in what it meant for us as a club. This is more what it means to do to you rather than what it means for us, if that makes sense. So that was more of something that we could build on from there. Whereas if we beat you 1-0 or we beat you 5-0, we can relegate you. So
I suppose that 4-2, you look back on it as like you said there, kind of every year goes by and it gets better and better, if you know what I mean.
It does, mate,
because of what's happened since.
And not only that, we were 2 up and then we went to 2-2 and we showed character to go 3-2 up and 4-2 up. And that was everything. If you could have written that game as a Sheffield United fan, you would have done. Obviously, you would do the same flipped. So it would just, so the 4-2 will take some beating. For me, other Blades will have different memories of derbies, but that were my favourite one. Confident but not complacent, says James. I'm just conscious of time because we've got a stream going live on Ramble FC at 1:45. James, I've been talking about caution all the way through the build-up. Never said we'll score anything. I'll take 2-0 though. Okay. Has James ever had any dealings with the Pittsmore Owl? And where's your drink, Jimmy? I ain't got a drink.
Pittsmore Owls, he's a good lad. Amy, just
passionate Wednesday.
Passion, lots of
passion.
Definitely. Yeah. I've not had any dealings with him. No, he's a good lad though.
There were some calls to have him on Ramble before we opted for you, mate. Instead,
I feel blessed.
Yeah, that's all right. It were close for race. 3-1 or 4-1 Blades, says Sam. Bamford to bag a couple. I've bet big on United. 3 up at half time, says Chris. Chris, weren't you just saying you were absolutely bricking it earlier on in comments, and you bet on us to be 3 up at half time?
Just had a couple of whiskies and this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's all right now. He's steadied himself. Board has given details of the civil case to the IFR. Okay,
Independent Football Regulator.
Thank you, my mate. Leeds lad says looking forward to seeing Calvin Phillips spraying the ball around in a 4-2-3-1. He was superb in that double pivot. I think that's exactly what we'll see on Sunday. I think Calvin Phillips will start in a 4-2-3-1. Chariot says commentators don't help with the sleeping giant nonsense every game. More like a comatose giant. Harsh. Not fair. Remember my dad come back on Boxing Day telling me we had lost 4-0, says JM Ward. Been waiting 46 years for this one on Sunday and getting revenge on the Grunters. What I was saying, says Romeo, is that we need to put them to bed and send them on their way. Right, okay, mate. Thank you. We're all... What? Hi, right. All right, Maury, don't scare me like that. You've put it here as well. Maury, I don't know what you're saying here, pal. He's a big blade, he's Maury. So what's going on?
Maybe he's been hacked.
Yeah, possibly. I'd hope so. And in those circumstances, the fact that both Sheffield clubs haven't done anything for 30 years, there should have been something won other than playoff finals by both clubs, or League One by Sheffield United, whichever one you think of, Jay. Whatever you want to say about that. Question for James: if they knocked the rust bucket down and had to rebuild, how big would you want to build it? 20, 30, or 40k?
I think there's something to be said about filling a ground.
I agree. I agree.
yeah, you can go mad and go. I could sit and go, 60,000 seater stadium. I think really, what I mean, it'd be more full than MK Dons, but I think what they've done is quite clever. And they're never going to expand it, but they've built it to expand. And I think, whatever your average gate is, just add about 5,000 on top of it, and have it full every week. So I can't really,
much better atmosphere, much better home support.
You probably say 25,000, maybe 30,000 seater stadium, but have it so that you can actually expand it if needs be, and add to it,
Not like the famous Hillsborough Echo that you can hear at the moment. Just think, Den Blade says, if we win on Sunday, should we play Crying by Roy Orbison, or We'll Meet Again by Vera Lynn? Why? James Wilbord's crypto gambling company, Gambon, caused issues with the takeover and regulator, given it's not regulated to operate in the UK, thus questioning the source of funding. Come on. Come on.
Wait a minute. Let me get my EFL handbook out and just have a flick through and just let you know. I don't know. It's not. That's not his company. That's Felix Romer's company, Gambon.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, look, the thing I get out about it, and Wednesday fans have been kind of defending it, is in that the company, the championship is the Sky Bet Championship. It's sponsored by a gambling firm. I think where it's different is the EFL don't, all right, yeah, it's money coming in, but that's only a sponsor. That's not actual. They don't run the EFL, the Sky Bet, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, well, yeah, they probably do have a big say on it, to be fair. Yeah. But so I don't know. I really have no idea. I mean, it must be making it harder.
Yeah,
that's the only way I'm gonna. It's not as. I think Chris Wigfield did say that. I think the nature of the businesses and the location of the businesses made it a bit difficult to provide proof of all these things. Everything's had to be kind of ratified by third parties and stuff, which has just made it much more
complex,
just harder. Yeah, exactly. Make it and taking longer as well.
Last few comments then. Bryce says, if you're being realistic, you have to admit that Wednesday are a big setup, the infrastructure, etc. Both Sheffield clubs are well supported, and if we were a one-club city, the crowds would rival the big... Whoa. Just going to nip off and have a quick shower. Agreed, Bry. But their infrastructure is so far behind. Wilder said Shirecliffe was a downside to signing players. Imagine taking them to Middlewood Road to a porter cabin.
Yeah, so Joe, I totally agree with that. I really do. It is a massive oversight, and it's something that does need to change. The training ground is just well below standard. Like it's just not good enough. You looked at, I think it's Stoke. They've built a new one for 10 million. Like, I mean, I don't know how good it is, but it looked decent on the pictures. Compared to ours, it's like building a palace. It is embarrassing. You have to go through a porter cabin. That's where security is at our training ground. It's not great. The infrastructure does need to be massively improved.
Yeah, fair. It says we're adding 16k to Ellen Road, but have 24k waiting list for season tickets. Always go on the waiting list and average attendance. Yeah, it's smart, isn't it? The owners got questioned why they didn't go for 60, but decided for 52 to 53. Don't push the limits on size. And Bryce says, I love James's sense of humour. He's all right for one of them. Yeah. I
always get them comments.
For one of them. It's always a little give way one and slap the other, isn't it?
He's decent for
a pig. For a pig.
Whoa.
That's what we call the team, obviously. So, listen, mate, I want to say thanks very much for coming on tonight. As always, it's very much appreciated. Any final thoughts before the game on Sunday, before I let you go?
Look, I will be definitely celebrating a 0-0 if that happens on Sunday. Look, this season's been a total write-off. I just think it's just so frustrating that it's going to end this way on Sunday. More, it looks like it's going to happen. I mean, I will be going off to cheer on Blackburn Rovers against Preston in 15 minutes time or so, and I will just be putting on my West Brom shirt tomorrow actually to cheer on them.
Do Blackburn need something then? Do Blackburn need something?
A point, yeah.
Right, I thought on 35 they were all right.
Do you know what? I've seen so many things.
I can't keep up.
You need to be like a mathematician to work.
Just tell me on Sunday whether we can relegate you or not. That's what I need to know. When Sunday comes around, we'll know, won't we?
I think it probably could do, because Leicester play Blackburn or something.
Yeah, there's something to do with that, isn't there?
But look, if they get a point, it definitely they'll be on too many points. So, but West Brom need to beat Cov. So,
well, we want Blackburn to win anyway because we need to catch Preston. So
and also, if you think about it, maybe you do want West Brom to beat Cov. Maybe a bit too far away.
Yeah, we're not Wednesdayites. We know there's limits, but yeah, it's going to be good, isn't it, mate? It's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. Maybe see you for a drink at some stage on Sunday. We'll be with your Jord if you're about.
Look, I'll be keeping it. I'll be wearing
black.
I'll wear all black. I don't no colours, and I'll be just keeping myself to myself. I think, to be honest, on Sunday.
Fair dues, mate. Well, thank you again for coming on, and thank you to everybody for joining us in the comments. As I've said, we're live in 5 minutes on Ramble FC, watching the Blackburn and Preston game with Lou and Gaz. So we'll catch you with you up the Rovers. Yeah, we're not bothered about that. Come on, you Cov. Is all I'd say for weekend. Up the Blades.